Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Xa Talk Show, episode 1001. Ooh, oh, ooh, smoke. Ooh. Good morning, everyone. So, I am alive. Yes, indeed. Today's topic is going to be random. Now, first of all, we need to check this. Timestamp topic will be first in what? Philosophy Python Guido. Yeah, Guido the guy. So I'm going to work on my Xa Talk Show. First of all, let's make the title correct. So you go here, select all, paste all, one button operation. You see, I'm just pressing one button. Good morning. Hey Jack, great to see you. So let's see what time is it in China? Wait, don't tell me. Wait, don't tell me. I know. So it's one o'clock. 1 o'clock afternoon.我这个 Jack 你好，我想做中文的，但是现在还没有做中文的话，YouTube 大陆不能上，所以想去弄哔哩哔哩，但是所有中文网页它都需要那个11 a.m. OK，所有中文网页它都需要那个电话号码账号，很讨厌。所以我现在没有电话，所以我一直想办一个，所以办一个以后再上那个哔哩哔哩。So yeah, I was talking Chinese to a Chinese friend in China, and basically I'm thinking of doing a video for my Chinese friends in China, in Taiwan, and elsewhere. But the problem is that in China, well, even in USA, lots of websites now they require a phone number, to hook up, so they can track you. They can, and I don't have a phone. Hi guys, hi everyone. So how many people watching? Three people. Great number. Three is the second prime number. Okay, so today I'm going to do. Let me know what topics you guys want to talk about. So the format is ask me anything. Ask me anything. Okay. Today I was thinking, I was going to maybe talk about YouTube, but there is this fantastic Chinese statue and song here. Like this is my website. Let me show you. So this is my music blog, Xa Music blog, and there is this fantastic statue. Let me turn the music on so you can hear it. Now you might want to lower your volume. Let's see if you can hear it. What a beautiful thing. This thing is like 100 meters tall, and it's in China. It's in China. It's basically she is a goddess, some kind of love goddess. I mean, her story is of a love song, a love story, and she's a goddess. She's a legend, kind of in the Chinese Miao ethnicity. I didn't know anything about it, but I was, looking up because on Twitter, people posted, and from this website, this website is becoming hugely popular. TikTok, the English version is called TikTok, but in Chinese it's Douyin. And they have like all sort of funny things everywhere. Douyin is no, well no, well I haven't used it, but I've seen a lot TikTok. I've seen a lot TikTok stuff. Um, usually yeah. So let me. So anyway, so what am I gonna see? Yeah, can you? Did you hear the music? Were you able to hear the music when I play that? Let's turn it down. So that's that song, and I was writing about it, to see what it is, and that song is beautiful. I found it. Then I found it on YouTube. Okay, Jack. So do you have a question like about Emacs or programming or anything you want to ask me? 有没有问题给我建议一个？ So that's my music blog. So that's my wordy blog. Okay, this is New York, New York, in Las Vegas. This is New York's skyline. So I went to Las Vegas like in 2004, and I wrote a travel log. So they have this place. This is a city of gambling and sex. and they have this facade. This thing is a facade. They create that to mimic the New York skyline. So and then there's a Statue of Liberty there, and that's when I started to study it. I started to dig into it, knows about it. So there's that uh, a goddess of freedom. Yes, it's a girl, lovely. And then she has, um, here she is. Here she is. This is a miniature, so she is wearing this kind of sandal. I suppose that is the what, Roman or Greek origin, something like that. Then there's a poem at the bottom. Uh, Oh yeah, so here we have the freedom goddess. Then we have the gambling goddess. I suppose this is Fortuna. She decides your fate. So here's my Las Vegas travel log. You can find it if you just search my name, Xali Las Vegas, and stuff. There's mega hotels and giga hotels and stuff. And oh my god, this Monte Carlo, this is of the Italian or European origin, and they got things. Well, and these sculptures, they are miniature, they are copied, version of the real thing, and many of them are extremely beautiful. You can see that they depict the voluptuousness of girls in every detail. Of course, in America, the U.S. culture, they don't, they feel nervous about this thing, but not in Europe. But however, things have changed, as you know, in the past few years. Anyway, look at this one. This guy, is carrying the girl and just flying around. You can see her expressions, and you can see it's an animation. It's animated. You can see how it is. Even they don't move. Is a frolicking and running. So anyway, so I was like, actually when I was there, and so I took all these photos, running around just by myself and took photos. And for each of them, I was trying to find, what's the statue's name. For this one, for example, I haven't found it. It took a lot of time, and this is back in 2004. There's no Wikipedia. Well, it just began. So I mean, even today. So Yeah, I suppose if I try to do research, I'll find the name. But does anyone know what are these statues? I mean, the name of these statues. But anyway, so Las Vegas report there are tons of stuff. There's then there's this MGM Grand, which which is or was modeled after the Green City, the Wizard of Oz. Well, only the color though, but not everything else. Everything else, the theme is basically slavery. What a great concept. You go, when you are rich and powerful, you have slaves serving you. Look at these guys, this masculine, well, beautiful. Even though I'm not gay, but this masculine guys holding stuff for you. I suppose that represents. I think it's there's a Greek god Atlantis or something. I could get the name wrong, but oh so yeah. So this is in Art Deco style. But anyway, it's a god that holds the earth for you, something like that. Yeah, this look. You see, it's but however, it's done cheaply. You look at this, it's not well done. It's not that. Well, I guess I suppose if it's in Art Deco style, then it's okay. But I somehow find it, somewhat cheap looking. The guy. But not just the guys. Then of course you have girls, necessarily so. In places like this, of course. And then you have these. Then you have that. So I took photos. Then you have this lion habitat. Lion habitat. What is the lion habitat? It's so that when you are gambling and sipping drinks in this place, and you can watch lions. Basically, it's an indoor, elaborate cage of lions. Um, so that is Las Vegas in 2004, and I suppose it's pretty much the same thing today. And there is this Studio 54. So when I was writing this page, it takes days, a week, a few weeks, weeks to write this travelogue. I mean the tradition of writing travelogues. And then you have this, so Studio 54. That is a famous bar or something. And look at it, these chicks dancing on tabletops. How alluring! And that's just MGM Grand, and so each of these are mega, biga, giga hotels, and there's Caesar's Palace, of course, the Caesars, the Roman Empire. It's a theme after the Roman Empire, Caesar's Palace, and this is the most famous statue, uh, and this one as well. I have discovered. I have right. You can read. What they are. And this one is a victory at Samothrace. Samothrace, something like that. Victory at Samothrace. It's a sculpture discovered 2000. That was 2000 or 3000 years old. Victory at Samoth, Samothrace or Samothrace. Goddess of victory. Sculptor unknown, about 300 BC. Okay, but however, it is in Paris. it, she has moved. you know, she called a taxi and she wanted to move to Paris, apparently, because Paris is the richer country. So anyway, and this statue, I haven't found what's the name. And this Roman guy. Oh, and this, okay, it's spectacular. This one. This one is called the Rape of Sabines. When I was there in 2004, I was, ogling around in Las Vegas by myself, this nerdy guy, running around taking photos. And I saw this, I was shocked. What? There's a play that says, the name Rape of Sabines. Well, even in Las Vegas, you don't glorify this thing. How can they? I mean, this is still USA, right? So I was, a bit shocked. So what is this? The rape of Sabines. Then, oh my God, how ignorant am I? This is a one of the most almost the defining theme of Western society. This is the art, the greatest theme story about rape of Sabines. It's a Roman. It's a legend of the founding of Rome. you know. But anyway, look at this sculpture. It's supremely beautiful. It delineates the whole situation. So this is a soldier. I mean, this grabbed the Sabine women, and that's her dad. So anyway, so that's my visit to Las Vegas. Well, there are so many other gods and goddesses in Caesar's palace. You got the whole bunch of gods and goddesses. Roman god, legends. They are all borrowed from Greek. I don't care about the Romans actually. Well, I like the Greeks much better. The Greek mythology is my religion. If you ask me what is my religion is Greek mythology, the gods and goddesses of the Greek. And in fact, let me show you. Stupid Chrome, stupid Brave. Sorry. Uh, the love of the mythology of the Greeks. What a mouthful. Hey, good morning, good evening, great break the loop, and good evening, Norman. So let me look at the. So if you guys have a question, type it. I'll talk about that. So I just wandered the my topic wandered into Greek mythology. Uh, so where is my article? Okay, here's another article. The apocalypse now. Ride of the Valkyries. That's another. That's the Scandinavian mythology. This movie, Apocalypse Now, it's a great movie. I can never forget the helicopter scene. Death from above. Whoops, stupid YouTube. YouTube has these problems. But anyway, so the Valkyrie, that's she is a goddess, goddess of war. Anyway, it's the Scandinavian kind of Norse, yeah, old Norse. I don't know much about Norse mythology, but you know Thor, the comics, the superhero Thor, that's from Norse. Where is Norse? I suppose it's in Scandinavia in that region, right? But is Norse is a Asian country, or is it ethnicity something? So okay, anyway, let me check the comments. Before I go in astray too far into some remote universe. Okay, Samsung One Wu. Yeah, I need a phone for sure. I need a phone. I'm like a modern hermit. I don't have a phone. Doing okay, multi-cursor operation. Multi-cursor operation in Emacs. I actually don't use that. I don't use the multi-cursor thing. So what do you think about software bloat compared to the old days of complete IDEs in less than 1 MB? Yeah, what can you say about that? I mean, well, yeah, there's a lot of software bloat for sure, and But on the other hand, all the memories and hard disk size and CPU speed, they are growing exponentially. I mean, literally exponentially if you measure them. Each year, the standard hard disk size and the memory size. So, I mean, it's impractical to write software so that, like 20 years ago, because I thought about this at one time. It's like saving pennies. Like when you were young, or at least when I was young in China. In Chinese culture, you save pennies. Like each day you have a pig, you put pennies inside, and the point is, well, at least one of the point is, they accumulate. So after a year you got some money. But actually, I mean, today, I mean, as an adult, they don't accumulate. Like if you save a dollar, yeah, it's saving every day. You put in a dollar. After a year you got $300. What you gonna do with $300? It's $300. You can survive. You cannot survive for a week. Well, you can. Well, yeah. So you know so and converted to programming. So this relates to programming because in programming communities, for example, C or C++, I've seen people try to save microseconds. They argue for days about which to use. For example, let me give you an example. For example, you have this I equals to I plus 1. Okay, you have that statement, but you can also write it as I plus I. Yeah, you can also write it as that. And in C++, for example, you can simply do that. Now, I don't know about today, but in the past, these are different statements, meaning that the compiler will create assembly, machine code that are different. This one is the fastest. So if you are coding C, let's say 20 years ago, when you want to do assignment like that, you want to use this one I plus plus. It's like C plus plus. You want to do that. Why? Because that tells the compiler, you just want to increment it. On the other hand, if you do it this way, back then, at least back then, the compiler is not smart enough. They cannot figure out, so they have to go the general way, and they generate code that's less efficient than this. But today, in these cases, this specific case probably doesn't matter anymore because the compilers has been smart enough. They will just they will see that these are the same thing. Okay, that comes to another point about language design. I'll talk about that. Someone remind me. Okay, but anyway, back to back to about the saving pennies. Okay, this is one example that probably doesn't matter, but there are some other examples that still matter. Um, but my point is, some of these different way to code at the at the language, I'm not sure how you call it, syntax level or kind of idiom level. Um, okay, suppose you have two different code that does exactly the same thing mathematically, algorithmically. However, the compiler, because they are different code, different idioms, different styles, they create different machine code. They generate different machine code, to run. So they are different in the sense that the speed, the speed is different. Usually by not much, by microseconds. So the point is, why should you? So people argue, programmers argue about it, or often, well, maybe not today, but often, let's say in 2000s, pro programmers, they argue about it. They say, okay, you should do it this way, or the elite hacker types, you should do it this way because the compiler create faster code and so on. But if you think about it, that's okay, saving microseconds. Does that make sense? Okay, so if your whole program, you pay attention to these things, these things are not easy to come by. I mean, the knowledge about this, it takes days, It takes a habit to study, read about all these details to actually know about these things. So you spend huge amount of time as a programmer on these kind of things. But your whole software, if you pay attention to these things, how much do they save? How much time do they save? Actually, imperceptible by the average programmer. So you are average, I mean, imperceptible by the average user of your software. Yeah, really imperceptible. So so this case, I was thinking it's like saving pennies. You save 10 pennies a day. It amounts to nothing. Really, it's like doesn't matter. In fact, technically, technically speaking, if you measure all the time you spend and so on, it's actually a waste of your time. It's a waste of the resources in the world, all things considered. Because you are a programmer, your time spent, you can do more valuable things for the world, than spending time about worrying about which way, it's a few microsecond faster, or which style of indentation and so on. Yeah, indentation, that's another topic. Coding style and formatting, there's like tons of pages about, in each language they tell you how you should format it. The proper way is really just like Golang. You have a program, you press a button, it formats for you, for everyone the same way. That's the way. But stupid programmers, especially the hacker types, I despise. They every day they tell you how you should format your code. Well, let me give you an example. Okay, there's this Emacs. I don't like. Okay, he might watch my video. Hi guy. So sometimes I rant about people and criticize, and it's if I'm criticizing you, then you probably don't like it too much. But I criticize all the time. But anyway, there's this. Let's see. So let's search for Emacs uh, projectile. He he's a great Emacs coder, of course, Emacs Lisp coder, and he has written many Emacs packages that are very popular. So the guy is this guy, B. Batsov. So he wrote Projectile, which is very popular. It's a package for if you work on a project. It's a package for you to manage your project, like open certain files, search within your project, and things like that. I don't use it. Because I don't use much of packages. Yeah, so that's this guy, Bozadar Batsov. Okay, now he is in Sofia, Bulgaria. Okay, somewhere in like Europe, like eastern side or middle of Europe, and he has written. He is into programming styles, fucking programming styles. He has written the closure style guide. Uh, and let me show you repositories. Let's magnify. So he's written style guide. Let's search for style. Closure style guide. Emac list style guide. Go fuck yourself. Okay, that's Emacs list style guide. That's my territory. He has also, by the way, I can't find it here. It's next. He has also written Ruby style guide. Let's see. Yeah, but anyway, you get the point. He has also written Ruby style guide. The point is that he liked the style guide. He's a hacker type, the elite hacker type. I despise. Okay, nothing wrong with a person. I know he's probably a great guy, and he has written more valuable code in Emac Lisp than me. Okay, he probably knows more Emac Lisp than me. Okay, nothing wrong with the guy, but but his ideas, his thinking, I despise. He's one of the elite hacker type. I despise. So back to the style guide. So he has written, closure style guide. The Emac Lisp style guide. So what they do, I mean, they are like they are like rules stick, they guide, they want to tell you how you should format your code and how you should name your variables. It's like, and usually they say, to make it more popular, he often, this type of often people often say this is community based, like, oh, this is just not my opinion, this is like the community based consensus about how you should, name your variables, where you should put the indent. The fuck yourself. These people are idiots. I hate these people. It is these people, these elite hacker types that spread all the garbage, wasting programmers time, and do, and kind of, do things to the industry. Now let me tell you why. First of all, style guide, it covers many things, but mainly there are two parts. Okay, you can generally separate style guides into two parts. One is mostly about formatting issues. For example, formatting. Where, how many indents you should be. Where you should put your bracket. Where you should put your bracket. Now that part, okay. So there's this formatting part. Now there's the other part which is more valid. Okay, I agree. Which is about the naming. Well, okay, maybe the naming of the variables, because in different languages, some allow cap case, some allow underscore, and then you have classes, you have function names, you have global variables. So naming conventions usually helps in some way in your project. But yeah, anyway, it's a mess. But I mean, it's a mess among different languages, and even within one language, let's say Python, you have different styles of naming. Because Google says one thing, but another, Microsoft says another thing. They kind of, they don't really. It's not really that um, great thing. Okay? I mean, it's not really. I mean, even if you have a style guide on these kind of issues, okay. So naming is one of the things. There are other things like idioms. Like when you write a loop to do something, usually depending on language, usually you want to avoid certain way, because that way, it's slow. It bogs down your program. So there are some good tips about idioms. So anyway, style guide, in general, there are two issues. One is mostly about formatting. The other one is about idioms and variable names and stuff. Okay. In general, okay, the formatting part is the most worthless. Anyone espouses the formatting about style guide, they should be. Uh, I don't want to say the word because Google gonna ban me. They should. Well, what I mean is that you kick them in the ass. Okay, you kick them in the ass. What should be done is that you should, any language, you should come with a language or tool like Golang. Golang is such a great idea. Golang, so for example, in Go language, you have a Go format, FMT. That's a tool. Go format. Okay. Let's show you. Let me show you an example. So a new buffer, switch to Go mod. Okay. So Go mod. Okay. Then I'm going to insert my template. Go. Okay. So you can see I have my stuff. Let's say, so I run it. Oh, I can save. I have to save it. I run it, and okay, it's 33. It prints 33. Okay. Now I call the command go format. It formats the entire file, by one kind of standardized format. So you never have to worry about any formatting. For example, let's put the whole thing into one line. Okay. Now I call go format. Oh, it doesn't do this part. Okay. Why is that? Let's see. Let me magnify. So, can you guys hear me and all that? Am I doing good? So let's see, 2 plus 3. Okay, so let's see, print 2 plus 3, and put it in one line, and let's call go format. Okay, so it doesn't actually separate the lines, but that's a flaw. That's a problem. They should solve that. But anyway, but if you call go format, it will format your entire source code into one, standardized way. This is the approach you should do. Um, and in fact, Mathematica had this like since year 2000, since Mathematica 3 come out. Uh, so this is what you should do. You should have a program that come with the compiler, that just people call. And when you have this program, it's also automatically built in. You can have it automatically built in into the editor. For example, I used to, when I run a Go program, it also automatically calls Go format for me. You know, uh, I took that hook off because I want to do it manually because sometimes I'm not ready yet. So anyway, so the point is you should have a program that automatically format your code, and this program should be part of the compiler, part of the your language software, so that once you have this, there will be no discussion, no writing, wasting people's time about formatting. The other thing is about formatting is that people, anyway, that's another whole topic. I can go on 1 hour about it. So anyway, the formatting you want the automatic, okay, and also for especially insulting to me is the Lisp language. Now the formatting issue depends on the language because in some languages you cannot have things in all in one line. For example, if you have all in one line, uh, because the new line character has semantic significance. So okay, that's another huge topic. Oh my God, I'm going like into a river and rivulets of topics. Sorry, white space. Let's see that. In programming language, they say, okay, what does it mean when a programming language claims white space is insignificant? This is a huge amount of articles. Okay, that's a lot of topics to talk about. So what does it mean when a programming language claims white space is insignificant? A lot of language like to claim that, but there's and idiotic programmers like they discuss about this, but they have no idea what they are talking about. But anyway, so this article you can read. I talk about Perl, Ruby, Emacs Lisp, and JavaScript. Anyway, about the formatting, I have a huge amount of things to talk about, and okay, here is JavaScript. White space. What is this? This page shows what's considered white space from JavaScript spec. Okay. Okay. Well, that's another page you can read if you want. And this is a page that shows you how to show white space in Emacs and and this is another rant. Okay, in Emacs you have this package built in called white space mod. That's part of Emacs maybe 6 years ago, 10 years ago, and by default it shows things like that. Extremely idiotic. But anyway, on this page I show you how to configure it, and so it display things like this. But anyways, back to the topic. So this formatting issues it relates to syntax of the language. It relates to several other things. And then I'm going to. Okay, so that topics I can talk up for a few hours. But let's go back to the formatting style. So formatting, you want to have it automated. It should be okay. Now on the idiom part side, some of it is valid. Let's go back to this guy's Emacs style guide. Okay, this Emacs style guide should be banned. This is he is spreading this bullshit. Because he spread this bullshit, and a lot of people, especially on Reddit, these hacker types, okay, these code type of programmers, like they think they are elite, like him. He's exactly one of that such person. and he think of you. You know, sometimes you watch his videos. You know, he think he's like, you know, he's above it. You know, he knows better than you. He's gonna tell you what to do. So he created this. You know, well, of course, his mindset. You know, he was like thinking he's helpful. You know, he's being a leader. You know, he help the Emacs community. You know, help everyone create a, you know, style guide. What the fuck, you know. So anyway, so the style guide, this should be banned, especially with the Lisp language, because the Lisp language has such a uniform syntax. And it's trivial. It's trivial to write a program that actually format for you. But to this day, we don't have it for 30 years. You know, I talk to these programmers. They don't know. Their brain is like tofu, made of tofu. You know, in Mathematica, which is a far more complex. Let me show you a little bit about Mathematica since we are talking about this topic. So let's go to xali.info. Okay, so now my blood pressure is going up. I haven't read the comments yet. I'll do so in a minute. How long have I been talking now? Okay, go back to Hacker Code. Go to the top of my page, and there is this Mathematica language. Okay, let me just show you a couple of things. Okay, this is Mathematica code in its you know, what's called a notebook. I mean the default editor for Mathematica. You see this thing. You see these expressions. These math expressions. Mathematica code, when you type, you know, it's such a way, when you type, it formats this complicated expression for you automatically as you type. This is fucking Lispers, okay? And Mathematica is a language that's basically a Lisp family, okay? So, you know, it renders these two-dimensional things as you type, starting with Mathematica version 3, released in 1998, okay, around 1998. And you know, and today we still have programmers like, oh, you should, you know, basically today each programmer, they format line by line like in Emacs. You know, when you type, you press enter, it tries to format one line, and then you have to indent, and all the people, you still to this day you're talking about, oh, how do you indent? I like it this way, how to do it. You know, this fucking idiocy by these elite hacker fucks. Okay, so you don't, you know, you want a program that just eliminate these programming style things. You know, this topic is so, you know, it's one of the epitome of the elite hacker stupidity. Okay, because in every programming, this elite kind of programming language, in Perl, in Python, in Common Lisp, in Emacs Lisp, you know, you have a bunch of style guides. Like they tell you how to format, what style should it be, and everyone talk about it every day, day and night. Like on Reddit, you know, every time this maybe this style guide shows up on Reddit, and everyone is like, you know, thumb it up, you know. Okay, that's one top. That's the topic about the formatting. Okay, that closes one topic. Now I was going to talk about um, I was talking about the love of the mythology of the um, Greek mythology. Okay, maybe I'll talk about that, but maybe something else. Where's my shit? Wait. I want to show my page. Okay, so anyway, it's in XR Arts. Okay, let's just go to XR Arts. XR Arts. This will be quick. Okay, XR. Okay, there. Here's my domain, xararts.org. And by the way, this one is a Polish artist. It's one of the greatest artists. His name is Stanislaw Zulaski, something like that. Polish artist. It's amazing art. He create amazing art. Okay, and he turned out he kind of lived in poor, poorly, and he's also a very he's kind of a nut job. He has now he has a drawing of Bertrand Russell, one of my favorite author of all times. Somehow he doesn't like Bertrand Russell, so he he draws, he portrays Russell as this kind of guy, and he's drawing on Japanese women. Um, anyway, so Kasa arts, Kasa visual arts, then you'll see. Um, anyway, I have a page about Greek mythology where I discuss, many of the great Greek mythology. Here, a love of mythology of the Greeks. Now, this girl, this sculpture is actually a sculpture in the Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, a gambling hotel. Her name is Artemis. She, in today's terms, she is the greatest bitch, of all times in history. What does she do? She's the goddess. She's, the highest goddess. She has perpetual virginity. She asked her dad Zeus to grant her perpetual virginity, and she kills people. She killed other, one this 12. She and her brother Apollos, shoot like hunting game. Killed the 12 children of women, because the women boasted that she has 12 children, more than her mom. Her mom only has her and her brother Apollos, so she shot them, killed them. The greatest, beautiful. Of course, she's the most beautiful uh, uh, girl, and she killed, a hunter. She and her maids. She had a bunch of maids following her, and is walking around in the forest, and a hunter, a huntsman, saw her, and she killed him. The hunter saw her taking a bath, and she made the hunter's dogs or wolves, rent the guy. So that's what she does. And then there's other Greek mythologies. It's not, well. It's so. Here's the nymphs, and Medusa. Oh, the Gorgons, Medusa. My God, Medusa. The girl with the snake head. Because you know why? She was the most beautiful girl in the world. Okay, but one day she's fucking. She's fucking. She was supposed. They say she's raped by the goddess of the sea, Poseidon, uh, in the temple, of the um, of another goddess, Athena. Yeah, in the temple of Athena. That made Athena angry. So Athena made her. She made her to be the ugliest woman possible, to such a degree. If you look at her, and if you locked her, if you lock eyes with her, you become a stone. you know you don't want to look at ugly girls because you don't know what to do. You don't want to look at them. That's what happened to her. That's how she became what she is, Medusa. So the Greek mythology, they have stories, and their stories reflect reality, reflect the human animals nature, the jealousy, the pride, um, the lust, the temptations and stuff. And this the story of the Daedalus and her son Icarus, however you say it, this stupid young person. So this Daedalus, um, uh, Daedalus is he's an engineer. He's one of the greatest engineer. Okay, there's so many stories involving the Minotaur, the bull with half human, the bull monster. But anyway, he's a great engineer. So many stories. But he invented wings. And he and his son flew, and he told the son not to fly too high. But the son ignored it. I can fly. He fly too high, and the son melted his wings, and he fell to his death. So there is the lesson for you young people. Okay, and so on. Greek mythology, and oh my God, this one is the death of Hector of Troy, a great hero. But anyway, so there's a lot, that's Greek mythology. But let me go back to read the comments. I probably went astray by far. 50 minutes. Okay, I've been talking for 50 minutes. Okay, so let me read the comments. So, what do you think about software bloat? Okay, so I haven't finished talking about that topic, but basically, so saving microseconds is no good. Okay, and also today's software, the CPU and so on, the hardware all become exponentially more resource, more powerful. But software bloat, I mean, the actual concept bloat still exists because a lot of people, as there are more and more programmers, programmers they just write using higher and higher languages. But that's not only it. Many programmers become less knowledgeable about programming, so they write garbage essentially. They create garbage like a lot of today's JavaScript, scene. So they create a huge amount of garbage. So the software becomes actually slow. I mean, you can, some software you shouldn't be slow at all. Like something, but it becomes, like it takes 1 second to load. Um, for example, many web pages are like that. It shouldn't be because they are loading 100 libraries, frameworks, these JavaScript idiot frameworks, because they don't know how to write, 5 lines of code to trim string, trim the head and tail of a string. There exists like a library that trims string. That's just 5 lines as a JavaScript library, and that's used by 10,000 frameworks. And a few years back, that became a big issue because something happened. But anyway, yeah. So the JavaScript world. So yeah, that create bloat. So that's a situation. But okay, my thinking. Okay, my point of view, my advice on this is always, any subject you want to look at things scientifically. You don't want to fall into the typical elite hackers, whatever they say, or for example, oh yeah, it's bloat. Everything people don't know how to write programs is bloat. And meanwhile, the hacker types are doing microcodes, saving microseconds. They spend 1 hour to argue about which way saves 10 microseconds. So bloat exists. As a programmer, you want to be, you try not to have, you should know what you are doing. Of course, JavaScript is that way because then there's this npm, which is a commercial, greedy enterprise. The npm leader is a scum. Okay, I don't actually know that person that much, but from the few incidents, happenings in the past few years, from the few I've read, I observed the guy. I think he's a scumbag. I don't mean just technique. Like usually I attack the hacker types because I have a different point of view on technical issues. But but there are some programmers I think they are actually bad person, and I think the leader of the npm, the JavaScript npm guy, is a bad person. I think. Okay, I'm not too sure about that. By the way, for a disclaimer, this is just totally opinion. I don't actually know the guy. Okay, in case he gonna sue me. Okay, so yeah, that's about bloat. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, quite a few comments. Let me go through, and maybe that'll be it for today. Uh, so I like Michelangelo's Pieta. Okay, I don't know what's that one. What is your opinion on Las Vegas? I no Las. Would you ever live there? No, I wouldn't. Well, I mean, it's a place where you go there, you gamble, and there's girls, and there's an interesting thing. Okay, Las Vegas is well known for prostitute, right? But actually, the Las Vegas city, actually, it's illegal to prostitution. Prostitution is illegal in the Las Vegas city, but of course, people still do it. But technically, it's illegal there. But however, if you want to go, it's outside of Las Vegas. It's legal. But people, of course, people people go there. Still do it. So in Las Vegas, in Nevada, it's very dry. It's actually a desert. There. So you can, you go there. Actually, your nose, you'll notice that you get sandy. It's very dry. But I noticed, a lot older people. I mean, I think older people live there as a retirement. So yeah, that's Las Vegas. Hi, save the microsecond. Hi, Danielle Langlois. Hey, Danielle. I haven't. I'm sorry. I haven't looked at the your pull request on Softline Keys yet. I haven't got to it yet. Um, yeah. So okay. It depends on the context. I'm programming for HFT. I'm saving the microsecond, but otherwise, I think you are right. What is HFT? Okay, still assessing. Oh, so Norman says, hi Norman. Still, it's sad seeing Electron apps taking 8 gigabyte to make a text chat client. Yeah, so Electron is a framework that uses JavaScript so you can build apps from it using JavaScript. Uh, and the heart of Electron is basically Google Chrome browser, right? Yeah, I always wanted to look into Electron, but I just never had. But I think Atom is created. The Atom editor is that's the origin of Electron. The framework is split out from the Atom editor. Atom is the editor created by GitHub company that create that few years ago. By now it's already like 6 years ago, I think. So Electron and also Microsoft also built their new editor, Microsoft Code, out of Electron. I like to look into, but I got so many things and I don't have money. I'm doing the video, but so by the way, okay, so let me just say this. So if you like my things, go to my website, of course, put your money there. Donate. You can, it's you go to any of my blog, you know, put money there. So let's go back to the comments. So isn't there something to be said for consistent code styles for a project that multiple people can contribute to? Yeah, so this refers to coding style. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that coding style is, totally bad. So the formatting issues is bad. Okay, you should, if you are in a company or whatever, I mean, even if you create a language or for existing languages, you should use a software that just format your code so you don't ever do it manually. Then it should be part of the editors. You just press a button, it formats your whole code. Or it should be, every time, yeah, you should have that. On the other hand, for variable and idiom issues, of course, a company, it's up to the company. You might have a standard. But the thing is, it just, different languages. Okay, here's what I say. You should, when you create a new language, or programmers should know. Okay, much of the idioms issue depends on the language. the very much depends on the design. I mean the specific language. So you want to create a language. When you create a language, you want to make it so that it I'm not sure what's the term to describe this, but basically it should has the property. It should have the property that basically eliminates the idea of idioms and different ways of variable naming issues. You can do that. You create a language that eliminates that issue. For example, I mean, this is a silly example, but just to illustrate. For example, in your language, you allow only lowercase for variable names. Period. I mean, there's no capital case, only lowercase, and let's say you allow the underscore. So if you have a language like that, then obviously there's not going to be issues about cap case or camel case, or snake case, because if you have that, it won't compile. So that's one thing. Of course, then you're gonna ask, okay, but if you have all lowercase, then but you need something else. I mean, I just illustrate the issue, okay, but it's absolutely doable. Enforce it in your language, do that way. So that eliminates the issue about the variable case naming issue. First of all, now let me give you another example about the idioms, such as I plus plus versus I equal plus equal plus one, uh, versus for example equals to I plus one. Then there's then in C plus plus, the most idiotic language, you also have I equals to I plus equals to one. You have these kind of things. So in your language, you don't want these things. Rid of them. They are stupid, created by the C and C++ programmers. Why they create that? Because their compilers are stupid. So they create this, and they tell programmers, to do that. What should happen is you just have this syntax, period. Okay, because yeah, but if you are a compiler writer, or if you are familiar with low level programming, I despise the low level programmers. Typically, it's them create all these things. Okay, so you want only have this form, okay, but then there's a valid question. Yeah, but the compiler are not smart enough, so if you have this form, it's actually faster. That's a valid point, but here there's this perspective. That's your problem. That's compiler writer's problem. That's not programmer's problem. Okay, I as a programmer, all I want to do is I want to assign a variable and I want increments, and this is a universal syntax. I don't want to worry about these details, about compiler details. That's your problem. That's not my problem. Don't put your problems onto me. Okay, so it's a C scumbags. Okay, C programmers scumbag, and C plus plus. As I say, C and Unix, they are the father of everything that's wrong in programming industry. They created this kind of thing. Then they spread, they because C is so lousy. Then you have C plus plus. Then you have Perl. You have C shell. Then you have Java. It's all based on C. Then you have JavaScript, of course, also based on C syntax. It's a virus. Each time improves a little bit. Okay, so that's the issue. So at the language level, you want good design, and Python too, especially Python, stupid Guido. He likes to create this. So in Guido syntax, you have lots of these things because he thinks this is more efficient, but he don't realize that as a programmer, as a compiler writer, that's your problem. You create whatever you can do. If you cannot optimize your code, that's your problem. you know as a compiler, I don't want to, for each whatever I do, I have 10 choices, which is faster in this situation, or which is not faster. I just want specify algorithm. That's what I want to do as a programmer. My job is to specify algorithms, not worrying about optimization at whatever CPU or CPU, whatever machine. So that is my take. Now, as a programmer, you should understand that. You should understand there's this perspective, okay, about optimizing compiler. That's one problem. Programmer's job, that's another problem. You as a programmer, any programmer must know that these are two distinct tasks, different concepts. Then, as a language designer, when you create a language, then it's up to you to, maybe, yeah, your idea, your mathematical oriented idea is good, but however, we still need to be practical. So, maybe in some cases we want to have different syntax so that, one syntax is really fast, because, compilers, there's no way to, at our technology, there's no way to, make it fast. That's totally understandable, but the point is you have to understand these, there are different things which is not happening in most of these hacker types, these elite, I was, many of my programming opinion. Anyway, that's another topic. So that's about uh, okay. So I think I talked a lot, quite a lot. How long have I been talking? 1 hour and 6 minutes. Okay, let's keep the comments. Let's keep reading the comments. Um, Golan. Okay, so still okay. So next comment: Isn't there something to be said for consistent code? Yeah. And next comment: You see same thing in other domains such as newspapers. Yeah. So yeah, we hear you. Sounds good. Break the loop. Great to see you, Norman. And Norman says Golan has great toolings around the language. Yeah, that's great. Daniel says I've always been fond of the Perl way when it comes to formatting source code. Apply the official formatting options to the source code during checking. They have that? I didn't know. They must have. Yeah, it's been a long time I coded Perl, literally like 18 years ago. Oh yeah, almost 20 years ago. Uh, so Bo Johnson says, "Hi Bo, you have a point when you mention Go format, but I'd rather be able to choose how to style my own code." Okay, that's a good point. Automatic formatting tools around the more. Yeah, that's a good point. So some people prefer, for whatever reasons, they prefer certain styles of formatting, and that can build into as an option of the formatting tool like Go format. I'm not sure Go format does that, but anyway, first of all, you should have a software that format your code. Entire like whole directory of 10 million lines. That yeah, that shouldn't be difficult to write. Again, it depends on language. Okay, you first of all you want to create a language that the syntax has a property that it makes it very easy to format entire 1,000 lines of code, even if they are all in one line. That's another topic. There's an issue about the new line syntax. Anyway, that's another topic. But anyway, so you should have a tool to do that. Then it's another question about whether the tool should provide options so that different programmers can you know can have their own preferred way of formatting. But anyway, that's one format is still good. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I mean, yeah, it's good to have options. I mean, it depends on the creator of the language, right? He might think, nah, maybe if he's dictatorship inclined, then he just want to create just one format. You just stick with this format. If you want different format, create your own tool. Go create your own tool. And if some other people, they are more, yeah, I want people to have choice. So Well, if that's the case, then different companies will have different format. In general, that's not good idea. So if you allow options for different formatting, you should have still one option that is, the standard. So, the code in anywhere in the world should appear the same. That's a good idea. So HFT is a Wall Street high frequency trading. Oh, okay. Um, so you have let me, can I magnify this window? Hold on a second. Uh, it's a field where programming speed is paramount. Oh yeah, I should add a link to my donations. About the donation, every time I ask for it, I don't feel it's not something I feel like, maybe, like, doing, yeah, but I should do that, because I mean logically it's I can see, I have, of course, I have valid reasons because I'm creating things, right? I create things. If people like, you put money to me. uh, but there's also the other hand, I guess it's my personality, and it's probably not so good because it has to do with a schizoid personality. One of the trait of the schizoid personality, I talk about that a few times in my past videos, like two of the videos you can see. The schizoid personality, one of the things is that we kind of aloof, okay? Well, at least appears to others. We don't ask for anything. Like, I don't want to ask anything. I'm just here by myself. I don't want to ask anything. Like, yeah, that's a schizoid personality. So Erlang uses identifier case to distinguish between variable and atom. Yeah, that's a good example. Different languages has that, and yeah, atoms. Okay, Greg Green Deck. Hi, Greg Green Deck. So Danielle says atoms in Erlang or Prolog or symbols in Lisp or Ruby. They have no underlying representation to worry about. They are invisible, indivisible. Uh, Atoms or symbols. I think I know what you're saying, but I forgot what's the context. They look like strings but perform almost like integers. Yeah. Sometimes I forgot the context. Like, I should be able, yes, like when I was talking about something, and then later on I look at the comment, I forgot the context. Okay, I guess that's almost it for today. I mean, unless you guys are, how many people are watching? Let's see, 10 people. But I've been talking for, yeah, 70 minutes. I think that's it for today. And let's go. If there is something I missed, I want to talk about. I don't think so. Uh, So style guide, closure style guide. Yeah, it's especially insulting to me because style guide should never happen on Lisp languages because Lisp languages, it's all nested parentheses. It has a inherent property that it is trivial. To write a software, to write a program, that you press a button, it reformat the whole thing. So I have written about this issue, like, 5 or 10 articles. You can see if you want to look at that. It's in syntax soup, uh, on Lisp. Anyway, I have, like, quite a few articles about that. It's one of my big issue about Lisp formatting. People. Anyway, that's I should make another talk about that another day. So, um, yeah, good point. So thank you guys for coming. I think that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. 拜。